Welcome beautiful Paris Saint Germain family. In today's video, I'll explain why Paris Saint Germain lost to Arsenal FC 2-0 in the Champions League group stage. We'll be going through obviously the entire game. These are picks and slides I have from right after the game and explaining why we lost that game and why at the moment, now going into the Champions League semi-final versus Arsenal, I believe this game is pretty irrelevant, even though it was PSG versus Arsenal this season. So, first of all, this is the lineup that Arsenal went with. Martinelli, Havertz, Trossard, Saka in attack, Thomas, Rice, Calafiori, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, and Raya. Going into now, obviously, Havertz is injured, is going to miss the game. Gabriel is injured, is going to miss the game. Thomas Partey is suspended for the first leg. Obviously, Calafiori has lost the starting left-back spot to Luis Skelly. Merino is obviously playing in attack. I still don't know what Odegaard was injured for this game, so Odegaard is back. I still don't know exactly what Arsenal will do when it comes to the midfield. Is it going to be Rice, Jorginho, and Odegaard? Is Merino going to drop and Arsenal play Trossard as a false nine? I don't know, but that's lineup-wise. Going to Paris Saint Germain's lineup, we had Donnarumma in goal, Nuno Mendes, Pacho, Marquinhos, Hakimi. That's all the same. Vitinha, Neves, and then Fabian Ruiz has obviously taken the starting role instead of Warren Zaire-Emery. The attack, though, completely changed. I mean, that Desiree Doué is not this Desiree Doué. Two completely different players. That was like, I don't know, maybe it was potentially his first start for Paris Saint Germain, obviously with Dembélé having the rift with Luis Enrique. Dembélé will be in the starting lineup. Khvicha Kvaratskhelia will be in the starting lineup. A better Barcola and a better Desiree Doué from Paris Saint Germain. Let's go into what Paris Saint Germain was doing, especially in that first half, because the second half, it was Arsenal, keeping on to their 2-0 lead, having some chances, PSG having some small chances, but pretty much the game was the first half. Paris Saint Germain trying to play out of the back, Arsenal with really high press. I'm still not 100% certain if Arsenal will play this high of a press against us now in the upcoming game at the Emirates, knowing that and Ousmane Dembélé is there, Kvaratskhelia and other players, and Paris Saint Germain just in much better form. Donnarumma gives it to Pacho. There was so much responsibility on Nuno progressing the ball. He always got it in these situations, and then he has to try to look for someone. Looks for the over-the-top here for Bradley Barcola. So we really struggled getting out of the press versus Arsenal. Timber had an excellent game versus Bradley Barcola, and Bradley Barcola was awful for Paris Saint Germain in this game. You can see we're just trying to find new ideas, long ball, expecting Barcola to, just cook Timber and create an opportunity for us, and we just couldn't do it. We just couldn't do it against Arsenal in that game. We struggled so much, trying so many different stuff, but all of it failing. Obviously, with Ousmane Dembélé playing as a false nine, if anyone remembers the goal versus Liverpool, it's Nuno Mendes having the ball on that left-hand side, and then Dembélé dropping deep, the centre-backs not being able to follow him. So Dembélé playing as the false nine is a huge difference. Kvaratskhelia playing against Timber is a huge difference. Desiree Doué playing is a huge difference for Paris Saint Germain. But yeah, we struggled heavily getting it out of the press. But when we did, Arsenal obviously caught very high up. Kangin Lee here, quick ball to Bradley Barcola. And Bradley Barcola, just the decisiveness, the decision making in the final third just wasn't there in this game. Just doing too much here. Timber easily takes it off him. But as we saw, Paris Saint Germain, even in this game where it was maybe a 4 out of 10 performance for Paris Saint Germain, really bad, we still created opportunities against Arsenal defensively. 1-2 from Nuno and Barcola here, and Nuno hits the post from a long ranger. Once again, Warren finds Desiree Doué in space. Achraf Hakimi with the pace of a gazelle goes past Calafiori, gets the shot in. So we can see Paris Saint Germain are being able to fight and create some opportunities, even in a bad performance like this, behind Arsenal's high line. And that's why I am questioning a bit if Arsenal will play as high of a line in the upcoming game at the Emirates, because this PSG side found them lacking many times. Imagine this Paris Saint Germain side with Dembélé, with Kvara, with Desiree Doué and Barcola in the form that they are. Recovery, even when we had space, you can see Arteta telling the Arsenal players to come back, and then everyone's back because Barcola just took way too much time. So that's something we have to work on. We have to be really quick. When we do catch Arsenal too high up, we got to be really quick with the counter-attack, which has been good. I mean, great counter-attack goal versus Liverpool, great counter-attack goal versus Aston Villa in both home and in the away tie. Saka here loses the ball to Nuno Mendes to Kangli, to Barcola. Barcola here can do something. This is the 5th minute at the Emirates, but Barcola instead tries to go inside or something, and Arsenal just get the ball. But after looking at the opportunities, especially in this first half, because Arsenal are pressing so high, Paris Saint Germain, it's not that hard for them to receive, great, final third penetrations, which I do believe will happen once again. Hakimi here to Desiree Doué. And now moving on to what Arsenal did and a bit what Paris Saint Germain did. For some reason, Paris Saint Germain decided to absolutely not press Arsenal. That was the decision by Luis Enrique in this game, which I have absolutely no clue. I know we were not in the best form, missing some players here and there, but I have no clue. We're one of the best pressing sides in the world, and that is one thing that makes us so good. I know that we press more at the back than we do away, but sitting this deep, I've never seen it from Paris Saint Germain under Luis Enrique, because it cost us for both goals versus Arsenal. As you can see, we're just letting the goalkeeper and the two centre-backs have the ball as they want to, sitting in this disgusting mid-block, and look at that. Timber just goes past Barcola, and here Gabriel just gives it to Calafiore, and they are running into our own half. Like, it was too easy for Arsenal in some moments because of that disgusting shape that we were doing. We were not sitting deep, we were not pressing high, we're sitting in some weird mid-block, and you can see the space between the midfield line and the defensive line. It's just way too much. Gabriel to Trossard once again just goes through that midfield to defensive line way too easily for Arsenal FC in this game. Look at this. Look at this. Partey, Arsenal's number 6, receives it between the lines. Absolutely no problem. 4 players trying to pressure him. He gives it to Timber, and Arsenal are on the attack. And this happened so many times in the game until it just got too much. Gabriel here gives it to Trossard. Trossard goes past Desiree Doué, puts it inside, and once again, you can see, look at the midfield line, look at the defensive line, acre of space to Arsenal to penetrate into. Trossard here puts a good cross into the box. Pacho doesn't really know exactly what to do. Donnarumma comes out too late, and it's a goal for Havertz. And as you can see, Arsenal's attack from this opportunity, it came from our stupidness. I don't know why we were sitting in that formation. I don't know why we were sitting in that shape, because it just gave Arsenal these opportunities. And look at this. Saliba to Partey. Once again, the press is terrible. Pass goes past them to Trossard. Trossard gives it to Saka. Nuno wins the ball, but then Saka is shielding in. Nuno makes a terrible mistake. Another disgusting mistake. And we have talked about Nuno Mendes this season. He's made so many big blunders in the Champions League this season. So he has to be fully concentrated versus Saka as he was versus Salah, which I'm expecting. I think Nuno Mendes' main aim, especially because Arsenal have such high, how can I say, they're influenced offensively so much by Saka. Like, he's so influential for them. So Nuno's aim this game should be just like the Liverpool game versus Salah. Just hold him. Obviously, they get the free kick here. Saka obviously scores. Donnarumma, I don't know what he's doing in our defense. And once again, as you can see, Arsenal get the opportunity. They get this opportunity once again from Paris Saint-Germain's lackluster press. So the two stuff that we've already learned is Paris Saint-Germain need to improve progressing the ball through Arsenal's high pressure. If they do press high, we need to get the ball out of there, because then, as we saw, we will get opportunities. There will be space in behind. Second of all, we cannot be sitting in this defensive shape. I want us either to press high. No, I want us to press high. I want us to play football as we have always played, because you can clearly see how it costed us for both goals here. And then you are away at the Emirates, 2-0 down versus a very, very solid defensive Arsenal side that would not give you any chances easily. And we were just stuck in this chance. And Arsenal kept on having chances as well. Moving into the second half, Arsenal, it was more about keeping the 2-0 lead. They don't have to do that much more. Gave us the ball, and we were just pause. So that's another thing. If we do, succumb to a minus goal, like Arsenal score a goal against us and sit back a bit, or who knows, maybe they sit back since the beginning of the game, or in any moment they sit back, we need to be much better at creating opportunities through this. Like, putting in crosses to Desiree Doué and Barcola would not be it. I could see us try a lot of long shots as we did in the Aston Villa game. But even here, we hit the crossbar there from Neves, got some small opportunities, but it just wasn't enough. Arsenal, it basically looked like Arsenal versus Madrid. When Arsenal were 2-0 up here, basically like they were 3-0 up versus Madrid. They could just defend, knowing that Paris Saint-Germain was not going to do anything. Still has, some small chances here and there. But at the end of the day, it did not really matter, especially with Arsenal FC having more dangerous chances than us, even when we had the ball. Here, big chance for Havertz. Martinelli puts it in. Havertz heads it. Again here, stupid mistake by Hakimi. Loses the ball. And then Martinelli gets a good shot here. So even when we had the ball, even when Arsenal were defending, they still had, in my opinion, some slight better chances than us. And here were the stats after the game: 0.4 XG to 0.71. Not high for any of the two oppositions. Only one big chance the entire game. 16 shots for both opponents. But you can see PSG 10 shots, 2 on target. Arsenal 6 shots, 5 on target. Arsenal don't shoot when they don't have a good opportunity. As Paris Saint Germain, there's a bit of the everyone wants to be a hero, believing in magic and all of that. But as you can see, we had 571 accurate passes to 289 from Arsenal, 65% ball possession to 35% from Arsenal. And that's potentially how I'm expecting the game to go in terms of possession. I still think we'll outpossess Arsenal because we want to have the ball. Arsenal can have the ball. Arsenal like to have the ball, but we are more forced to wanting to have the ball with better press, better counter press. So I still think that would be the thing. I don't know if Arsenal will press us high. For me, that's the biggest question mark going into this game. Because if they do press us high, we saw how uncomfortable we were in that game. Obviously now with different personnel, with Paris Saint Germain playing with much better confidence, it will be different. But as we saw, there was spacing behind. We did manage, even in this horrible performance, managed to get in behind them. So that's once again what I'm expecting from Paris Saint Germain if Arsenal come out pressing in this game. But the main reasons why I don't think this game is that relevant. First of all, it was a long time ago. Even though it wasn't this season, this was straight in the beginning of the season in September, and now we are in April. So that's the first thing. It's gone so long, both for PSG and Arsenal, that this game is a bit irrelevant. In my opinion, when it comes to this. Same thing if we played Atletico Madrid now again, or Bayern München, or anything. Second of all, a lot of people are talking too much about this game. Oh, we beat you 2-0. That means we are much better than you, coming from Arsenal fans. Well, my answer to that would be, you do know that it wasn't just you guys we were struggling against. We were struggling versus Girona at the Parc. We're struggling versus PSV at the Parc. Lost to Atletico at the Parc. Lost to Bayern. So, no. Once again, this was less prop to Arsenal and it was more critique to Paris Saint Germain because we were struggling against everyone. It was Arsenal, it was PSV, it was Girona. Whilst Arsenal fans think, oh my God, we were so good back then. No, we were ass. We were disgustingly bad in the beginning of the season, nearly getting knocked out, nearly getting grouped. We nearly got grouped because of performances as we had in the beginning of the season versus the Arsenal game. Third of all is the personnel. Fabian Ruiz being added into the team, Khvicha Kvaratskhelia and Ousmane Dembele, who was supposed obviously to play that game if he didn't have the fuss with Luis Enrique, will obviously have a major impact on this upcoming game. Our players being in better form. I don't really know about the Arsenal players. Maybe some of them are in form, but none of them have, gone from that level to this level. Like look at Nuno Mendes, how he's been performing in the biggest UCL games. Look at Gianluigi Donnarumma versus Villa and Liverpool. Look at this Hiridue. Look at the midfield three of Vitinha, Neves and Fabian controlling the game and everything. So I think it will be a completely different game. I do like to look back at this game because then I can see what Arsenal pretty much did, what caused us problems, what we would need to improve on, which is getting the ball out of the press, Dembele dropping from that false nine role, our wingers doing a better job, being more clinical, getting better opportunities up front, and pressing them. I do not want to see that disgusting shape because that gave Arsenal, I'm not taking away prop from Arsenal getting the chances. I'm strictly looking at this from a PSG perspective. We could have potentially nullify those two opportunities from happening if we had a better press. Obviously, if we have a higher press, that also means we will be leaving a lot of spacing behind. But that's a risk I'm willing to take because why? Our players are used to playing that way. We're not used to playing a mid-block, leaving the space between the defensive and midfield line. That's basically what Aston Villa did to us. The defensive line and midfield line, there was just too much spacing behind us. So when they got a pass in between, it was like a 3v3 counter-attack all the time. So we know what we have to improve on. I think Arsenal know what they need to do, I guess, rather than they need to improve on as they won that game 2-0 and played in a very Arsenal way. We know what we need to improve. As I said, I don't think this game is that relevant anymore because of many factors, as I just mentioned. But it's very interesting looking back at the game, what went wrong, what went small right stuff, what we can improve on. And I think every PSG player is ready to prove themselves in this game because I think because of the Arsenal beating Madrid 5-1, they are coming in as slight favorites according, to the football media and all of that, even though it doesn't make any sense just because of two games, even though it's very big games. I do not want to take anything away from that. They're coming in as slight favorites, so I think Paris Saint Germain players want to prove the world wrong. as they did versus Liverpool once again. And especially, it's another Premier League club, fourth Premier League club. City beat them, Liverpool beat them, Villa beat them. Now it's time for Arsenal to get knocked out by Paris Saint Germain, hopefully. But yeah, that's how Paris Saint Germain lost versus Arsenal. Those were the mistakes that costed us. And yeah, that's what we'll have to improve on for this upcoming game. Hopefully, guys, have enjoyed this video. And as usual, allez, allez, allez Paris.